All right, welcome to Crown Council Live. Steve Anderson here today, and I get the opportunity to fly solo today because the Crown Council team is actually flying on their way to Las Vegas for the big kickoff tomorrow morning of the Dental Digital Marketing Conference. We have teams coming from all over the country for 2 days of the latest science of everything digital marketing, what's working and what you can do to generate more happy paying patients for your practice. So I'm headed out as soon as we get done with Crown Council Live today. So we're looking forward to a great couple of days in Las Vegas for the Dental Digital Marketing Conference. So we've got some great guests lined up for today. That you're going to love everything from an amazing practice in Cincinnati, Ohio, to an amazing example that you're going to meet in just a minute of doing good. And we'll also hear from the Crown Council team en route that's actually some of them on the ground in Las Vegas. And we're going to get the opportunity to hear from one of our young dentists as well. So a lot of great learning that's going to happen here in the next few minutes. So quick updates. Always love this is Smiles for Life season. And so always love to do the weekly update on all things Smiles for Life campaign. So here is the update for this week. Total donations and contributions so far in the campaign have eclipsed the $500,000 mark. And so we are halfway into April. As you know, the Smiles for Life campaign goes all the way through so March, April, and May. We wrap up in June, and so it's shaping up to be a record year. And so we are so grateful for everything that everybody is doing. And one of the things that we're doing this year that's a little bit new is we're asking practices, especially those that are doing the Smiles for Life whitening campaign for the first time, to pick a day. Just pick one day where you do at least 5 cases. Take 5. Do at least 5 cases of whitening so you can get your donations on the roll. So thank you for all of the amazing work that you're doing to do good and raise money for not only your local charity, but also the great work we're doing together as a whole group. In the Dominican Republic and the child life zones that we're building in children's hospitals all over the country and all the different projects that we're doing together. So thanks for making it happen and keep whitening the teeth. All right. So a couple of other just quick updates. We're looking forward next week to our TOPS Leadership Academy. This is an experience that we do twice a year in April and October, and we have practices that come from all over the country. And this next week, we're going to have dentists and hygienists that'll be coming from all over the country for 2 days of leadership and growth. You can learn all about Leadership Academy at totalpatientservice.com. And the next one we'll have coming up is in October, and that will be for dentists and dental assistants. So we rotate through the different positions in the dental office. Last week, we had a great webinar that we did entitled, I Hate Morning Huddles. And if you missed that, let me show you where to find it. It'll be up on crowncouncil.com in your premium member hub for just a little bit longer. If you go to your premium member hub and go to the content page and just go to access all content in your team training library, it'll take you over to that page and you can scroll down to the webinar section right here, webinars, I Hate Morning Huddles. And that is a recorded version of that webinar. It's packed with great ideas how you can supercharge your morning opportunity meeting. In the Crown Council and at TOPS, we do not do morning huddles. We do morning opportunity meetings. And so this gives you all kinds of ideas, techniques, and systems to make that work and be even more productive to have a great start for your day. So enjoy the webinar and put that into action. So with that, I am very excited to introduce you to Dr. Matt Dudek. So DJ, let's invite Matt in. He's been in the, the waiting room. And I'll give you, once Matt gets on here, I'll give you the backstory, because this is one of my favorite stories in dentistry and doing good. Dr. Matt.
Hello, how's it going?
What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for taking a minute to be with us on Crown Council Live. And so why don't you tell, I'm going to tell everybody the backstory real quick. Tell everybody where you are coming from live today.
Yeah, so I'm in Ashburn, Virginia. I'm at Nova Pediatrics and Orthodontics. We're a pediatric dental and orthodontic practice as well. And we're excited to be here.
And Matt, you've been out of residency for, let's see, how long?
It's been, I graduated in 2021, so going on 2 years now.
So just to give everybody the backstory here, Matt has had some amazing mentors. And Matt, maybe you can share first off your mentor story with Dr. Michael Gorman and Dr. Bruce Hutchison, who have been longtime Crown Council members, TOPS teams, and kind of how you met them and how all that got started.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've known since middle school that I've wanted to be a dentist. So it's been a long process to get to where I am today. But I mean, I pretty much started shadowing in dental offices as early as possible. When I was looking for a dental assisting position, not a lot of people were willing to take on someone just to shadow or to assist. But Dr. Hutchison and Gorman were willing to kind of show me around the office. They said, come on in, you can shadow for a little bit. And then after a day or two, they said, well, we need a dental assistant. So if we want to get trained, why don't we bring you on?
Nice.
And then I've pretty much been at their office. I mean, since high school, on and off college. When I came home in dental school breaks, I mean, I had a couple of months off. I said, I'll be home for these 3 months. Can I come and work at the office? So, I mean, they've been my family for such a long time. I was actually working at their office when I got the call that I was accepted to dental school. I was supposed to be working until 8 o'clock that night. We were doing an 8 to 8. And so my path of getting in dental school was a little different. I had applied to programs. My grades weren't where they needed to be, so I was rejected from the program. So I had reapplied for the next year, but I'd stayed in touch with the program director over at Temple. And I actually got a call the first day of orientation, and he basically said, we had a spot open up. If you want this spot, show up tomorrow and you got it.
Holy smokes.
And so everyone at Dr. Hutchison and Gorman's office, they're like, you need to go. We'll cover your shift. Like, we'll fill in the rest of the week. Like, you go. So it was just very special to have them be a part of that process.
Pack your bags and go.
Pretty much. I booked a hotel. I lived out of my car for the first couple of days and just kind of made it happen. I took that opportunity, and I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity.
That is amazing. So such a cool story. So along that road, somewhere in that whole process, when you were working with Dr. Hutchison and Dr. Gorman, they sent you on a trip.
Yeah.
An Eagle U trip. So tell us about the Eagle U story and how all that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never heard about Eagle U. Dr. Gorman had pulled me aside one day and said, hey, I've got this program that I think you could really benefit from. You know, I'm willing to cover the cost of tuition if you can just get your flight there. So I started to kind of dig a little more research into it, you know, saw that it probably would be pretty beneficial for me. And it probably was one of the best decisions that I've ever made, being a part of that program. I mean, it's just the lessons that you learn in that program. I wish I had taken that experience at a much earlier age, because I feel like I could have changed my path, and I could have, you know, prevented a lot of mistakes that I made along the way if I had learned some of those lessons earlier on.
What was your first time you came to Eagle U? What was your biggest? Do you remember what your biggest takeaway was? What was the biggest aha for you?
I mean, I think for me, it was probably the positive mindset. The fact that I get to choose how I feel and how I react to certain things. I mean, it's like, I feel like once you learn it's such a basic concept, but yet like we just have so much stress going on through our daily lives. And I feel like we let ourselves take on that stress and that anxiety, but yet we have the option to not do that and actually have a positive mindset and kind of be more excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. And then, and you came back for several years as a team leader to
Mhm.
shepherd other students through the program, and have become just an amazing part of the whole Eagle U family. So this piece, Matt, is I got one of the biggest surprises I've had in a long time. And I'll just preface this for everybody's benefit that knows that in the Crown Council culture, we don't believe in giving back because I think it implies that you took something and you feel guilty about it, so you have to give it back. So I don't believe in giving back. I believe in doing good and the power of doing good. And there's so many different ways that we can do good. And so a few weeks ago, Taylor Lowe, who is the director of Eagle U, got a random message that looked like it was a hacker that just said, "Hey, we have a client who wants to make a donation, and we need all your banking information, and we need it." She looked at it and thought, "Man, somebody is trying to hack into our account." But then about a week later, of course, you messaged, and this was a real deal. So this is just an amazing doing good story. So will you give us the kind of the backstory and what you decided to do and how all that worked? It was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, a part of Eagle U is to kind of make sure you're setting goals and make sure you're having goals that help to kind of balance all quadrants in your life. So sometime last year, once I had finished residency, and I said, all right, when I'm finally making a paycheck, I want to make this a priority. So I put it on the calendar. I'm going to have my goals here. So let me just make sure I'm reading it exactly correct.
Wait, you got to show him. Hold him up to the camera so we can see this. His goals on his phone, just like we talk about. This is awesome.
So I had set a goal. I said on June 1st, 2023, I have raised $10,000 for Eagle University. And, we had met with our financial advisor, and the date was coming up, and I said, look, like, we need to get on this. I was going through a job change last year, so it was kind of creating some flux, and my financial advisor was pushing back, saying, you need to kind of tailor this a little bit. So we ended up cutting that donation in half, but it was something that I said, look, this is the goal that I have set. I need to carry through on this goal. I want to accomplish this. And they said, all right, let's make it happen.
That's awesome, Matt. So such a huge surprise and such an amazing act of generosity, especially the position you are in your career right now. Just wow. So thank you for that. And as you know, that's going to go to help fund scholarships for students who otherwise would never have the opportunity, just like you had. So thank you for your great example of doing good and paying it forward and continuing that whole legacy that Dr. Gorman and Dr. Hutchison started with you, and you're now making that possible for somebody else. So rock on, man. That was so cool. And congratulations to you on all of your success and everything you're doing. You're an amazing example, and appreciate you very, very much.
Happy to do it, Steve. Definitely great catching up with you too.
Likewise. Thanks for taking the time today, and good luck helping out the kids today.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks so much. All right. That is such a cool story. And man, I love stories like that. And we have so many of those that happen on a regular basis of people who donate and do good. And just Dr. Ken Guest, who's been involved with Crown Council and TOPS and Eagle U for years, kicked off the Eagle U Endowment Fund, the interest of which is funding scholarships, and Matt's donation is going to join that to fund scholarships year over year over year to just be a continuous legacy for other students. So cool. And anybody else who wants to join the fun, you are welcome to do it. EagleUniversity.org is where all the information is. We got an amazing program coming up this summer for high school and college students to help them get a 7-year head start on their career. So thank you, Matt. Okay, we are going to jump to Las Vegas, live from Las Vegas. Spencer Chipping on the Crown Council team is in Las Vegas on the ground, getting ready for the launch of tomorrow's Dental Digital Marketing Conference. Dang, dude, you are right. You are on the floor.
Yes.
Very
How's it going,
cool.
Steve?
All right, so tell everybody where you are.
I am live here in Las Vegas at the Planet Hollywood. Here we are hosting the Digital Dental Marketing Conference, and I am sitting here on stage, Steve.
Love it. And we go live tomorrow. We got team members and dentists coming from all over the country. And give us a little snapshot of what is in store for Friday and Saturday at the DDMC.
Absolutely. Friday and Saturday, we have roughly 20 experts that are speaking and sharing content inside of the realm of digital dental marketing. And so it's very similar to TED Talk style, where they come up on stage and share 5 to 10 minutes, and then jump back off, and the next person comes on board. It is rapid fire with a lot of incredible content.
Spencer, what are you most excited about in terms of what's going to be presented? Because the whole idea of this is this is up to the minute, what's working now. There is so much that's changing in the world of digital marketing. You know, it seems like Google's changing the algorithm all the time. You've now got here comes artificial intelligence and the impact that's going to have. What are you most excited about that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, there's so much of what you just mentioned, Steve, as well as the communication with the patients today, as we all know, has completely changed post-COVID. And we have some that are not only going to be talking about how first to engage with the patient online, but once they are engaged and interested, and even a patient, how to communicate with them, how to create an experience for them, and how to win them for life. And so we're going to see a lot of that. And that's what I'm really excited about, is that technology that allows for a better experience for our patients.
Okay, so here is the big question is how many different presenters are on the docket?
Man, I'm going to give you the exact rundown, Steve. And we have
the first speaker, I don't know about him. He's a little marginal.
A little marginal. We're gonna have Blake Hadley, and
I wasn't referring to Blake.
I was
referring to myself.
Yeah, we're gonna have yours truly, Steve Anderson, on the stage. We got Blake Hadley, founder of My Social Practice. We have the presentation style. We have 25-minute presentations, 10-minute presentations, even 5-minute presentations. So you can tell that there is a lot of different presentation styles, as I mentioned, but we have over 20 presentations, Steve, on digital marketing.
Sweet. And I think one of the real amazing things about this whole, and we've been doing this, golly, how many years is this?
Nine. This is number 9. Yeah.
That's, we did a couple of years online during COVID, but one of the things that I love about doing this in person is the ideas that are shared between offices, just meeting the other practices that'll be there. We have practices coming from all over the country, as well as the resource partners that you put together, who are all involved in digital marketing in some way, shape, or form. So just a lot of learning and a lot of great learning from each other, as well as the experts that will be there. So, and we'll be doing it again next year. So every year we do an update because things are changing so rapidly in this space. And so if anybody wants to follow Spencer and stay up to date on all things digital marketing, they go to.
So we have the DDMC, or the Digital Dental Marketing Conference.com. You can even watch last year's conference. That is on the same site. And then we have details for that, Steve, on the same site. Digital Dental Marketing Conference.com has this year's information on there as well.
Excellent. So, and we keep that updated. So this entire event, and in fact, Spencer, I'll share my screen right here so everybody can see where it is. The exact address is dentalmarketingconference.com, and it has all of the information for this upcoming event. And as Spencer mentioned, you can watch last year's event as well. And we keep that updated. So this is a combined effort between the Crown Council and My Social Practice that puts this on, with a lot of support from Ultradent and a lot of other companies that help make this possible for all things digital marketing and what's working now to generate new patients and be a leader in your market. So thank you, Spencer, and thanks for being part of the lead crew that is there getting everything ready for an amazing 2 days ahead.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Steve. We'll see you guys in Las Vegas.
You got it, and I'll see you in a few hours.
That's right. See you later.
Thanks so much. Good deal. Live from Las Vegas. So looking forward to that. It's going to be an amazing couple of days, packed with great information and great learning. So with that, we're going to go from Las Vegas east to Cincinnati, Ohio, and we're going to join Mary Beth Brown, who is part of our TOPS coaching team, is going to join us right now from Dr. Amanda and Steve Levinson's practice, Anderson Ferry Dental in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hello, Mary Beth.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
Good, good. How is Ohio?
Oh, Ohio is great. We only handle it once.
Now, for those who may not be familiar, Ohio is a state, and in our TOPS vernacular, we have, I guess it's an acronym, right? Ohio stands for Only Handle It Once. Only Handle It Once. Ohio, which has to do with insurance claims, mail, financial earnings. Like, if you're going to do it right the first time, get it completed so you don't have to go back and do it dozens
Do it
of times.
again.
But you are
Actually,
you're in
Go ahead.
Cincinnati, Ohio today.
I am. I'm in actually the suburb of Delhi. So we are just on the south side, right by the river. And Dr. Amanda and Dr. Steve live in the neighborhood. And there you go. You found us. Yeah. And so this is their neighborhood, and they love being able to serve the neighbors of their community. So this is super exciting for them.
Very cool. And they're serving patients right now.
They are. You just missed Dr. Amanda.
Was she
just
there?
left yep, she was.
Oh.
It was time to go. So she asked me to be her spokesperson until she or Dr. Steve could come back.
That's great. Well, hopefully they can join us. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you just the back team. So this is an amazing husband-wife team, and Dr. Amanda and Dr. Steve. And
Do you know they went to Emory together, undergrad, and then Ohio State through dental school together?
oh, wow. So they met in undergrad.
They met in grade school.
Wow. That's amazing.
So isn't that neat? So
That's pretty
there's
cool.
all
High
background.
school, both want to be dentists. That's amazing.
Mhm.
Very cool. All right. So you're there on site with the team.
I am.
You're working on top systems and all things total patient service, case acceptance. This is a team that we've been working with for quite a while. And the agenda while you're there this time is what?
This practice was purchased and Dr. Steve joined it 20 years ago and then purchased it within 3 years after joining. And they were a very insurance-driven model in dentistry. And one of the objectives in, I think, 2016, when we started working together, Steve, was to develop the R factor.
Which
And
is
so
for everybody's knowledge stands for
the relationship. And
dentistry,
so,
all about relationships. Yep.
yeah. So every time we come together, we work on our relationship with the patients, from how to use the dental health history and take that information and make sure it's part of every conversation with our patients, making sure that we know what matters most to them, who they're, you can see the behavioral style on the
Yeah,
wall.
I can see we got the disc profile map up on the wall, and you got some fun stuff on the wall back there, Mary Beth.
Yeah, and that's the team, actually. So they understand how their patients communicate because they understand how each of their teammates communicate. And so developing the relationship has been a ongoing wonderful piece of the community because they're going insurance free.
Are they? Okay,
And
tell us about that in terms of
Mhm.
timeline, what led them to that decision, the whys behind it. Give us a little backstory.
Oh, well, I'm happy to. So 3 years ago, we mapped out with Kame Waters the trajectory of the practice. And they were a very volume-based practice with a facility footprint that would not allow more flow. So we had to look at the fee schedules and decide how we could work smarter and not harder.
Okay.
Both of them had 5 hygienists. They could only get up to 6, and that would have reduced the doctor's treatment room. So the strategy was to look at the relationships as the restricted provider status and the patient-based size, and start the conversation and the transition. So 3 years ago, just before COVID, they walked away from Aetna and Cigna. And now Dental Healthcare Partners is a very large footprint. It started in Ohio, and it's a good third of their practice base, and they will be walking away from them in 60 days.
Wow. So in progress. And
In progress.
those
Yes.
those that are familiar with how we at TOPS facilitate this, because it's a process.
Mhm.
Mary Beth, you've done dozens and dozens and dozens of these in your career, and I don't know what it is that makes everybody feel so compelled to do this when they come to the point where they say, okay, we're going to get off. And I don't know why it is. The first thing everybody wants to do is send a letter to all their patients. I mean, I think it's like a declaration of independence, and that is the last thing you want to do, is send your patients a letter. So this has been a process that you've helped manage over a period of several years to make sure that, the practice not only sustains, but continues to grow during all this.
Correct. Yeah. And so, Steve, I think it goes back to the principles that we teach, which is when the relationship is high, then it's not a transaction, right? And so transactional dentistry, you get caught up in how much is my insurance going to pay? Aren't they going to pay 100% of that, right? And that whole conversation. The other thing we really worked on, which I think is a big component of this, and I know you would agree, is approval addiction.
Oh yeah. Everybody's
And-
good, including me.
Right. And so,
Hired in, you gotta work around it and put the systems in place so it doesn't manage you.
yeah, so we had to do and put our 10 on our foreheads yesterday as well, right? And our deserve level as far as being able to have conversations with patients that might have come to the practice at some point in the past because of a benefit that they perceived. But now the relationship's so high that it makes the transaction so much easier. And so prior to, just like we have always talked about, is, letting people know what's coming and having that conversation with them and getting them ready while we're getting ready just has been the magic key for them. So they're so grateful for, the years of time with the TOPS company, because it set the culture and the team to succeed. And if those two things are good, you know, the rest of it works well.
So I'm gonna share something just real quick. In response to this, and Mary Beth, you and I have been working together for over 20 years.
I know.
And what I tell people is that we are helping practices go insurance free at a higher rate today than ever. I mean, ever before. I don't remember a time when we've had this number that are opting out of the system and going independent. And there's a process to do that. And so because of just the sheer volume of people that are practices that are working through that decision-making process, and we're certainly not promoting saying everybody should be insurance free. That's not the point. We did put together a 2-day experience called Should You Be Insurance Free? And this is on the TOPS website, totalpatientservice.com. And the reason the title is a question is because it is a question. It's not a one a one answer fits all. I mean, you've facilitated dozens of these, and it's a different answer for different practices based on the demographics of their market, their office size, kind of dentistry they want to do. It's not a one and done decision. So the whole purpose of the course of Should You Be Insurance Free is to walk through the key questions and decisions that need to be made, and using your data in your specific practice, help you come up with what is the best answer for you. And it's different for everybody, as it was for the Levinsons.
Absolutely. And, you know, so grateful that you know, in dentistry, one of the things that Dr. Amanda and Dr. Steve say regularly is, you know, in dental school, we learned the science of healing. What would have been a great opportunity is to have an undergrad in business.
Right.
Because the relationship between our institute, our company, and them gives them the peace of mind knowing that the systems that we have been created by the TOPS Institute have been put together to be able to give them the sound foundation in business, just like the dental area. And so it makes such a great partnership. And the 2-day course is such a wonderful opportunity to walk through, is this right for me? And if so, at what rate and how? And that's where I think we can couple with and help practices like this go through these changing events. So
Mary Beth,
it's
if you know, and many that are watching have heard me say this before, that I learned from one of my mentors, Coach Chuck Daly, who coached the Detroit Pistons and the 1992 Olympic Dream Team. And one of the things that he really helped me understand is this idea that it's a player's job to play. Player in this case is a dental team member, a dentist, whoever's serving the patient. It's a player's job to play, and it's the coach's job to make sure that the team wins. And that's the value of a coach, is the objectivity and the experience of working across a wide number of offices for many, many years, and having that breadth of experience to take into the office and see what others might not be able to see, and get the effort focused, map out the path, so that the team continues to grow, accomplishes their objectives, and is able to win. So thank you for helping Team Levinson win. And in fact, so much so they're all working. So
absolutely.
I'll see in patients right now. So
exactly. I could show you the hallway.
There you go. Fantastic. So anyway, thanks for taking a minute out of your day to share with us. And please tell the Levinsons and team, thanks for letting us take you away for just a minute. And
I appreciate that.
Wish them the best of luck as they continue on the insurance-free path.
I absolutely will. And I'll show you one of their whys if I can catch this.
Oh, very cool.
This is the wall of family in Dr. Amanda's office.
Love it.
And this is the reason that they do what they do, is they love time with their family and want to set a great example for not only their children, but for the people in the community. So they said, thanks for letting them be a part of our community as well. So I'll sign out. You guys have
thanks, Mary Beth. Appreciate you. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Very cool. So Cincinnati, Ohio, and I love what our TOPS coaching team does. So they are on the ground every day in different dental practices all over the country. If we're able to do it, I could plop you down virtually in practices all over the country right now, where like the Levinsons, where TOPS coaches are working today to help the team win. So it's an amazing process with amazing results, and great coaching team with Mary Beth, as well as all the other TOPS coaches. So thanks again. And thanks again to the Levinsons for their great example. So we're going to go from Ohio. We're going back west to Salt Lake City, and we're going to have opportunity here to welcome Dr. Cody Bozeman, who is one of our most recent Crown Council Young Dentist graduates. Cody, good day.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, thanks for you like you are like in battle, man. You got the mask pulled down, you sprinted in to
I am.
for a minute. So fantastic. Thanks for
Got
taking
someone numbing on nitrous and taking a
Okay.
break.
All right. So you're taking a break while they're getting numb. So this will be fantastic. So amazing view behind you.
Thank you. Mount
the
Olympus
Rocky
we got
Mountains.
there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Rocky Mountains behind you. So Cody's in the Cottonwood area of Salt Lake City in Utah. That has had record snowfall this year and record runoff that is now starting to come out of the mountains. And so Cody, maybe you could just give us a quick backstory on, we're going to talk about the Young Dentist program here in just a minute.
Awesome.
But maybe you can just share your backstory in terms of what inspired you to go into dentistry and, your whole dental school experience and how you landed where you are right now.
Yeah, sure. So I didn't plan on being a dentist. My dad's a dentist and I want to do anything but what my dad did. So that was never my plan. And you can tell I don't look like a young dentist, although I did just finish the Young Dentist program with you guys. So I had a couple different careers before I landed on dentistry. I first owned a boat dealership, and then I was an aircraft mechanic, and then I flew airplanes for the airlines, and then I ended up going to dental school. So,
Wow, so you've had some great business experience, which I'm sure it's well.
Yeah, I've been around, so whether that's good or bad, but so yeah, I did that, then ended up in dentistry. Nothing else seemed to work. I loved being a pilot, but happened to be 2008, 2009 when pilots weren't needed. So
yeah.
So anyway, that's how I ended up going to dental school. I finally, after I got furloughed at the airline I was working for, I said, God, what can I do? Dad's a dentist. Let's look into this. And very mechanical.
Yeah.
I love mechanics of everything. And so when I learned about implants, I was like, oh, this is just like working on airplanes. It's just smaller. So I decided to look into it, go back to school and see if I'd flunk out of, the basic sciences, and turns out I flourished and did well.
That's awesome. And remind me where you went to school?
Utah State.
Yeah, you went to Utah State.
And then I went to Creighton for dental school.
Creighton for dental school. And so today, are you practicing with your dad? Tell us a little bit about the construct of the practice.
Yeah, so no, dad essentially retired from practicing dentistry when I finished my residency, and he got on full-time teaching at the University Dental School here in Utah. So he practices 1 day a week. He comes in 2 to 3 hours on Thursdays. He's here this morning and practices with me on Thursday mornings. And that's all I ever get to see him here. But we've built a decent sized group practice. We have 3 full-time doctors here working. And yeah, just run it as a great little group practice that we can all ask each other questions and learn from each other.
What do you think are some of the most important lessons that you learned from your business experience that have helped you in your dental practice?
Probably one of the most useful lessons that I learned was from running the boat dealership that I
Yeah.
had. I learned to laugh.
You learned to
Uh,
laugh. Okay, tell us
Learned to
about
laugh.
Okay.
Things don't work out how you expect them to, right? Everybody that's been in business knows that. And so if you go into things with expectations and you're going to be disappointed if they don't turn out that way, you're going to be disappointed a lot. So
Yeah.
I've just learned to laugh, and I've learned to laugh even more in dentistry and in my practice, that, I have big expectations of how things are going to be, and they're never that way. So
Well, hopefully you don't, get done seating a case and then bust up laughing, and go, dang, that looks horrible. But
learn to laugh.
there you go. I love that. So with airline mechanic, airline pilot, boat dealership ownership, all kinds of different businesses. Fast forward to your dental practice. How would you characterize, with your practice as a business, how would you characterize your philosophy of care, your philosophy of your dental practice?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I feel like maybe my philosophy has been influenced largely by my dad, practicing with my dad and growing up with my dad. He always referred to his patients as his friends, which is kind of what made me start looking at dentistry. Is Dad has 3,000-4,000 friends. I want that. I'm not above buying my friends. So he treated everybody like a friend, and it's I've kind of adopted that, and for better or worse, it's very low pressure sales. It's just very patient centric, and I treat them as if they're a friend, and I will recommend treatment based on if they were a friend or my mom. And so I'm not a heavy salesperson, and a lot of the times I don't end up doing a crown when I probably should, because the patient, do I really need to do this? Yeah, you should, but you can probably get by with something else for a little bit. And so it's very patient centric. We focus on them and what their needs are, and really education based. So that's what I feel my job is. If I educate the patient on the pros and cons of this treatment, leave it up to them.
Yep.
And they eventually see the value in what I'm suggesting, but it's their choice, not my choice. So I never, ever want a patient to be like, my patient or my dentist made me get a crown and I'm pissed about it. So it's always their choice.
Exactly. Going through the Young Dentist program, what was your biggest takeaway from that 3-weekend experience with Dr. Hornbrook and Dr. Larson and that whole group? What was your biggest takeaway?
Biggest takeaway is Dr. Hornbrook's he's a bad A. He's great, knows his stuff, gets down to business.
He did all
yes.
this. So.
Oh, there you go. He's very beneficial, super helpful, in full mouth aesthetics, occlusion. I was very happy with the course, with the information I got. I wish I was in an area that I could do full mouths on a daily basis and practice what he preached a little bit more often. But, I get to do a couple here and there every couple months. And what I learned in that program was critical and key into being comfortable into offering that treatment instead of going in blind.
Yeah. Our mentor's awesome.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
It's so amazing what you can learn when you just connect with the right kind of people and are coachable and want to learn. And that whole program is amazing to me, just what he shares. And now what Dr. Chase Larson is sharing, just the whole construct of it. So
yeah, I agree.
Awesome. You got to participate that early on in your career and use that to make some great things happen. So
absolutely.
Last question. Cody, is there anything, or I should say, what do you wish you would have known in terms of dentistry or dental practice, maybe that you've discovered now that you're in practice, that you wish you would have known earlier?
So I got that question before, and I thought about it a lot, and probably not the typical answer, probably not what you're looking for, but
I'm not looking for anything.
I wish I would have known how physically and mentally taxing dentistry is.
It is.
Focusing on really small subjects, small objects, and working in such a small confined space and being bent over all day. And, like I said, I grew up with my dad being a dentist. I never understood why when he came home from work, he's been sitting all day. Why didn't he want to go out and play with me or throw a football around? And he always just asked, I just got to lay down for a minute and get rid of this headache. I now get it. It's really taxing. It's really hard. I don't know what I would have done differently. I don't think I could do anything differently. But I wish I would have understood maybe a little bit more why my dad was so tired. And, I'm
right.
still trying to find that magic ticket as to what I can do to combat how taxing it is, but it's tough. It's not an easy profession. We do sit all day, and that's more of a detriment than a help.
One of my favorite moments along those lines was several years ago at the Crown Council annual event. We had Dr. Eric Goodman as a guest, and Dr. Eric Goodman is a chiropractor turned back expert, and he led the entire group, some 1,200 of us, in a series of back exercises that keeps your back healthy. And it was a wake-up call for me, and everybody else that was in there, just all the things you have to do to counteract the bending over all day long. And it's not just in dentistry, but most everything we do, it gets you into that posture. And we have had him back as a mentor of the month several times. You can get on crowncouncil.com and just search for Eric Goodman and all of his stuff, as well as on YouTube. It's all there, but it is, you're an athlete. You are a dental athlete, and it takes it takes a workout to be able to continually do that every day. So that's brilliant insight, and thank you for that. So I said last thing, I'm gonna do one more. What advice would you have, knowing what you know now, if you were to go back and talk to Cody Bozeman before he got into dental practice? What would you tell him?
Tell him a lot of things, but if it was a short conversation, I would probably say, so I graduated almost 10 years ago now. And when I graduated, I said, because I did a lot of service trips when I was in dental school, went to Indian reservations and worked, got together with some organizations that took students to the Dominican Republic and some different places. And I was very large in that. And I loved it. And when I graduated, I said, I'm going to do one of these every year because it's really good to bring your focus back and focus on what's important and appreciate what you have and appreciate the equipment you have here. And I've only done a service trip maybe 3 or 4 times, but here finally got back out and went with the Crown Council, went to the Dominican, and it was a really good trip for me. And I took my hygienist, a really good trip for her. And honestly, what I'd tell myself is don't lose your focus. Like, that was my goal when I got out of dental school, and I lost my focus, wanted to make money, wanted to practice, wanted to do CE. And I honestly don't know if any of that's as important as just bringing it back to the basics, giving your service, giving your time, and volunteering and helping out people. It makes you appreciate everything that you have at home. And you can practice better, you can practice healthier, you can be excited about practice. So that's the advice that I'd give, is don't lose focus. If that's what I wanted to do, I wanted to go volunteer once a year, stick to it and actually do it.
Another great example of what we call doing good. We always say, I mentioned this once before today, but in the Crown Council, we don't believe in giving back, because that implies that you took something that didn't belong to you. We do believe in doing good. And that is a great example of the whole humanitarian effort that we've done for many years. It's a great way to do some good. So Cody, thanks for your great example. Thanks for taking a minute. I think your patient's probably numb by now. So we're going to let you get back to work. And thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing your experience and for all the good work that you're doing. Thanks so much. Good deal. All right, I think we got there. Did you get all that, Cody? I think we had a little internet glitch there. I think it slowed down on us. So anyway, hopefully he can hear me. Thanks so much for taking the time today. So that's a wrap for our program today. Thank you for joining us for Crown Council Live today. And our thanks to all of our guests today from all over the country. And we'll be back next week, same time, with another great program with things that you can learn to grow your practice and create a culture of success in your life and in everything you do. So thanks for joining us and look forward to seeing you next week. And I am off to Las Vegas for the Dental Digital Marketing Conference. So those of you that are going to join us there in Las Vegas, we'll look forward to seeing you for the next 2 days for an amazing learning experience. Otherwise, we'll see you back next Thursday for Crown Council Live. Thanks, everybody.